Let's talk about the official theme park social media accounts. It's getting spicy out there, everybody. Let's talk about it right now. Welcome aboard to another episode of Orange Grove 55. So in this video, we're going to talk about the theme park official social media accounts. And this is the video I've been wanting to make for a really long time. I've been putting it off. But there was a situation the other day that I'm like, you know what? I can't hold back anymore. I got to talk about this. I got to share it with my subscribers and see what you guys think. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So the other day, the official Disneyland Resort Twitter handle tweeted this. Well, they quote tweeted this. This was a tweet originally from the OC Register, and they said that Universal Studios Hollywood cost nearly 10 times more per ride than Disneyland report says. And then Disneyland Resort responded with, we are thrilled to continue our phased reopening and welcome guests back to the happiest place on earth with returning favorites, new experiences, and lasting magical memories. Hashtag magic is here. Okay, so a lot of people took to social media and was really kind of like, they were mad. They were mad that Disney would do this. They kind of perceived this as like Disney throwing shade at Universal, right? And I guess you can kind of take it that way. In my opinion, and I could be completely wrong on this, full disclosure, the tweet from Disneyland feels very canned and feels very automated. It feels like this was some sort of like reply bot. Maybe like when a blue check mentions Disneyland, this is sort of like the automatic response that this particular Disneyland account kind of responds with. I just feel that like the message that Disney tweeted didn't really match the tone of like the article. It just felt really weird. I feel like this is an automated thing. Okay. So, but if it's not, let's just say that someone on the Disney official Twitter handle actually typed this out. I don't agree with it. I don't like this whole thing, this kind of trend right now where like these theme park companies are like throwing shade at each other and everyone's like, ha ha, it's so funny. It's not funny. It's unprofessional. And I think it's detrimental actually. Not only is it unprofessional, it's detrimental, I think, to the business models of all these companies. And if this is the trend, if this is not an auto reply thing from Disney and it's a trend, then they should absolutely rethink this strategy because it's a fail. It's a failure of a strategy. It doesn't work. It does not work. Now, Universal, on the other hand, they have doubled down on this strategy. Okay, I mean Disney has this one tweet and we don't know. It could be automated, might not. Who knows? Universal, though, there's no doubt that all they do all day long on their Twitter handles is throw shade at Disney. It's this passive aggressive kind of like whatever at Disney. Okay. It's the typical like we're number two and we're going to take jabs and take shots at number one. Now, this is the thing. And as a Universal fan, I like Universal. I don't love Universal, but I like Universal. So full disclosure here. But as a fan of Universal, someone who does like Universal parks, the constant jabs on Twitter or social media at number one, which is Disney, doesn't boost your brand. It will never, Universal, I'm telling you, it will never get you to number one by doing this. It's been shown historically time and time again. You have an entire animatronic donkey dedicated to anti-Disney, rants over at your park, right? The donkey, the Shrek donkey that just sits there all day long and talks to guests about how horrible Disney is and how expensive Disney is. Yeah, that and your anti-Disney Twitter account, it doesn't do anything to make you number one. Okay, this has been shown. I'm not talking shit here. I'm actually giving you constructive criticism if you want to take it. Okay. Now, you're probably asking, What do you mean, Orange Grove? What do you mean that this doesn't work? Okay. Let's take a look at some of these campaigns where number 2 was constantly taking pot shots at number 1 and see how successful they were. This was Sega when they had their Sega Genesis 16-bit system. And they were taking shots, they were taking jabs at Nintendo all the time. Nintendo wasn't doing the same to Sega though. No. Nintendo was number 1. They just did their thing. They acted like number 1. But Sega, oh no, we're going to do Genesis does what Nintendo don't. And they were taking shots at like Mario and yada, 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 right? If you're old enough, you guys remember all this. Where is Sega today? Where is Sega today? Are they number 1? Did all these jabs at Nintendo pay off? Oh, I'm sure, right? I'm sure that all these jabs at Nintendo paid off, and Sega is now the number 1 console in America, right? No, it didn't work out that way. Come on, you guys know it didn't work out that way. Sega is a shell of its former self today, as compared to what it was before. Every company that does this, these number 2s, whether it be Burger King taking shots at McDonald's, whether it be Pepsi taking jabs at Coca-Cola, the jabs, all it does is cement their place as number 2. That's all it does. That's all it does. And Universal is doing a damn good job at cementing its place as number 2 with their constant social media jabs at Disney. Disney this, Disney that, Disney this, Disney, and they won't say Disney, but you know who they're talking about when they take jabs at certain things, right? It's pretty obvious. It's a failed strategy. And yeah, you'll maintain your spot as number 2, but that's all you'll ever be. You'll always be number 2. If you want to be number 1, and this is friendly advice to Universal, if you want to be number 1, act like number 1. Pretend like you're above all this. Don't take jabs at Disney. Pretend you are number 1. You're the king. That's how you become number 1. Taking jabs at Disney, you're admitting that Disney is number 1 by doing this. That's what Sega did with Nintendo. That's exactly what Sega did right here with Nintendo. And Sega is almost non-existent at this point, right? It's a failed strategy. So to kind of bring it back home, to this tweet right here, I am really hoping, as a person who loves Disney with all his heart, I dedicated my whole channel to Disney. This company means this company and this park means a lot to me in my life. I really hope this is not a trend. I really do hope this is an automated reply bot sort of thing, and it's an oversight, and it won't happen again. Because really, like I said with Universal Disney, this whole thing where taking jabs at other companies on social media, it doesn't work. Historically, even before social media, with Sega, Burger King, Pepsi, all that, it never worked back then either. And it's not going to work now in this new age of social media. It's best not to get into the mud and do that. Just be Disney, act like number 1, provide the best stuff, the best attractions and experiences you can as Disney, and completely ignore Universal. That's the best approach going forward. So I really do hope this was some automated thing. It was an oversight. And look, one tweet, whatever. But if it becomes a trend, I'm going to start to worry a little bit. It doesn't work, you guys. It doesn't work. And Universal, I'm telling you, Universal doubling down on this strategy and thinking that somehow they're going to take jabs at Disney and somehow that's going to elevate them to number 1. It doesn't work. Universal will become Sega. They'll become Sega, or they'll become Burger King. They'll do well. They'll be successful, absolutely. But they're never going to be number 1 doing that. They'll never be number 1. So anyway, that's my thought on it. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me that the social media kind of like jabs are unprofessional and really just kind of bad business? It doesn't really work. We've seen it historically. I've shown you the examples. It doesn't really work. But what do you guys think? If you disagree with me, comment below. If you agree with me, also comment below. I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.